Hi everybody, my name is Kaylie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hi everyone, so before we get into today's story time, I would like to give a big shout out to Care Of for collaborating with me on today's video. Now, if you don't know what Care Of is, it's a subscription service that ships high quality personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders to your doorstep. Which I would also like to add, all of their products are made with clean ingredients that are backed by the latest science and research, so we can feel good about what we're putting into our bodies. Now, I have been using my Care Of products for the past month, and the positive changes that I have felt since following the routine that Care Of created for me is literally crazy. But I would say the changes that I was most surprised about were from taking my probiotic blend, which has helped me regulate my digestive system because my stomach has always had a really hard time processing food, which leads me to feel bloated and uncomfortable. And the other one would be from taking my vitamin C, which helps if you don't eat a lot of fruits or vegetables. And I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the supplements that I should have started taking a while ago, because as some of you may know, a few years ago I found out that I am allergic to a lot of fruits and vegetables. Not to mention, over the past few years my immune system has been absolutely terrible, which I found out could most likely be because I'm not getting the nutrients from fruits and vegetables that I need to help my immune system, amongst other things. So I hate to say it, but I have never felt better. Now, the only reason why I hate to say it is because I have literally spent so much money on all kind of vitamins, supplements, whatever the heck else, mainly because I didn't know what I was looking for. But eventually I decided to take the Care Of quiz to see what vitamins and supplements that they would recommend for me based on my issues, which we have a lot of. And bam, they created a whole routine for me. Now, this is so off topic, but I just want to make sure that I'm putting this out there. If you're going to spend money on vitamins and supplements, keep them somewhere where you know that you are going to take them every day. Like, one of my main issues was when I would buy vitamins or supplements, I would put them in a cupboard where I would never see them, and then 3 days go by and I'm like, wow, I forgot to take my vitamins, and I wasn't able to see any real results. So I keep them in this box and I put them right on my counter right there, and since I'm always in the kitchen because I love food, I always remember to take them because they're literally right there. And you can do the same. Just click the link down below in the description, fill out that quick questionnaire, and then use my code Leas to get 50% off your first order. But without further ado, let's get into today's story time. Okay, everybody, future me popping in here, I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, don't mind the hair, don't mind the nails. Listen, I am like falling apart right now, okay? Like, I have 30 million different things going on. I'm very stressed out, especially like, my nails look so gross. Okay, but I'm gonna fix them after this video. But for my people that are new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown for most of the video. I'll be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
You can pack your things and leave. There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, let's get into today's story time. Okay, story time. My best friend was in love with me. This should be interesting. Okay, so a little background information. I was 20 years old and a sophomore in college. Okay, so this whole situation came about around like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And this was around the time when sororities and fraternities rush. By the way, for any of you who may be confused about what rush means, by the way, I got these answers off of the internet, so if these are wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments because I literally know nothing about college. Anyways, okay, it's whenever new students who are interested in joining a fraternity or a sorority get to know the current members. Anyways, so there are all sorts of parties and other events going on so people can pledge, and I really wasn't thinking of pledging, okay? Now, for those of you who also don't know what pledge means, it pretty much means that you've been accepted to join the sorority or fraternity, but you just haven't been initiated yet. Like I said, feel free to correct me in the comments. Got these answers off of the internet. Anyway, so like I said, I was not thinking of pledging, but anywhere there's free alcohol, I'm going to be there. Because, you know, your girl likes to have a good time. Not saying you need alcohol to have a good time, but it helps. And I would like to think that I have a pretty healthy relationship with substances. So, you know, I pretty much know my limits. And sure, I'll be the first to admit it, I sometimes overdo it, okay?
2 shots of vodka.
You know what, never mind. We are not here to listen to me talk about my relationship with alcohol. Anyway, so I met this girl who we are going to call Abby at a party, and her and I became super good friends extremely fast, I would say. Now, my roommate and I did not really have too much in common. Like, we barely had any of the same interests. I mean, she was low-key boring, okay? That's the best way to put it. She didn't like to party or drink, at least not as much as I did. Not that that makes her boring. You guys get my point. Now, luckily for me, Abby really liked to drink and go out. So her and I would go to all sorts of parties together, and we pretty much became best friends. You know, her and I would meet up before parties to do our makeup together, and we watched a lot of the same TV shows. We both smoked marijuana together. Like, we literally did everything together, okay? Like, if it was a pregame, Abby and I were there. If it was a party, Abby and I were there together. We were literally like a package deal at this point. And everything between us seemed to be going really well. Eventually, she introduces me to her friend group, which I was super excited about, okay? Because I love meeting new people, and I knew that I would hit it off with them because if they were anything like Abby, I would have no issues getting along with them. So, like I said, she introduces me to her friends, and we're gonna call them Becca and Anna. And the first night that we all met, we got a lot wine drunk before going out to the bar, which led to all of us getting super close extremely quick because that was a whole fucking fiasco, but that's a story for another time. Now, this next part might seem a little bit off topic, but I promise, just stay with me, okay? So my college operates on something called a block schedule, okay? Where you do one class for 4 weeks, and then you switch to another whenever that's over. But between when you would switch, there would be these breaks, which would be like 5 days long, nothing spectacular. Well, I went home for my last block break. While I was home, I caught a chest cold, which was so bad that we thought that it was COVID. So I was stranded at home for a while, and I ended up missing a few extra days of class while I was recovering. Meanwhile, Abby pledged a sorority, and while I was recovering, she was Snapchatting me constantly, saying how I should have joined the sorority with her. And before this, I was too busy going to other parties and sometimes just being antisocial. So I ended up not going to enough of those types of parties for that specific sorority, if any of that made sense. And I will be the first to say that I do regret not pledging, because free booze is free booze and I'm in college, you know? Anyway, so yeah, she's pretty much Snapchatting me everything that's going on, also saying how much she missed me and I missed her too. But this is where things start to get a little bit iffy, because these Snapchats were like constant, okay? And I get it, you know, we're best friends. She hasn't seen me in a little bit, but still. So fast forward, after I'm healthy enough to come back to school, I decided to go back a day earlier than I was supposed to, so that way I could surprise all my friends, and that was pretty fun. After that, Abby invited me to sit with her and her friends at lunch, and I love making new friends, so I was happy because now I'm making even more friends. So I hit it off with all of her friends, of course, and especially with this one girl who we're gonna call Penny. Penny and I are like the type of people who can finish each other's sentences, communicate with literally just a glance. Her and I are just on the same wavelength, is what I'm saying. And I developed a positive relationship with mostly all of the girls, but Penny was the one that I clicked with the fastest, and I also ended up getting closer with this girl named Becca. So, you know, one night after the bar, Abby and I went back to her dorm to watch some TV, and she got extremely touchy with me. Now, I usually don't mind being touched. I'm a very physically affectionate person, especially with platonic friends, you know, like cuddling, hugging. Like, if a friend rests their head on my shoulder, I'm not gonna be like, ooh, get the fuck off of me, you know? That was pretty aggressive, but yeah, it's something I was completely fine with. But the way that Abby was touching me, she was like wrapping her arm around me and just getting very, very close to me. Now, here's something I want to mention, right? Okay, so like, say if Penny were to give me a hug, right? Like the same type of hug that Abby just gave me, but like the vibe, I know her and I are just friends. With Abby, I just felt like the vibes of that hug and her putting her arms around me are just like not the vibes that I wanted. Anyway, so I was very drunk, okay? And so was she, so I pretty much just justified it with saying that we were both drunk. She was drunk, she didn't mean anything by it. You know, the alcohol was just making her a little bit more affectionate than usual. Dumb bitch. Also, neither of us are straight. I'm pansexual, she's bi, I'm pretty sure. But again, we were both drunk. And once again, I am used to physical affection from my friends. Like, I just didn't think of this as anything but platonic. And for anybody who does not know what platonic means, it means a non-sexual relationship. Well, I continued to sit with them and Abby for a while. Everything was still going really good. I got closer with these new people, which was nice. And this is whenever I was beginning to realize how Abby was acting around me, as well as how she talked to me. She seemed to be oddly possessive over me, like always trying to sit next to me and pouting whenever I would sit somewhere else or next to somebody else. Like the one day I sat on the other side of the table across from her, and it was like she started pouting. I thought this was weird, but also I'm not the greatest at reading social cues, of course, but I just kind of let it go. I know. I'm a dumb bitch and I should have listened to my gut, but I didn't. So I tried dropping hints that I was not interested. Like, I really tried. Like, I would swipe on Tinder in front of her, or I would stress that I liked her, but in a platonic way. I really have no idea how she didn't get the hint, to be honest. Especially after I literally said, word for word, I love you, Abby, platonically. Maybe she just didn't know what the word platonic meant, to be honest. But, you know, she kept pushing. And originally, before, now at this point, I just started to think that maybe I just like men. Like, maybe I really, that's all. I like it is what it is. But then I just actually realized it wasn't that. It's just that I was not interested in Abby. Like, I really was not. Like, I'd be sitting there and I'd let her rest her head on me, but then I would get uncomfortable, of course. So then I would shift away from her, and then she would literally reposition herself to get closer with me. So anyways, aside from that, another one of my friends had this drinking game that she made up, guaranteed to get you fucked up. Like, really fucked up. So my roommate and I went to go and play this game, and I was extremely drunk. So at around 11 o'clock at night, Abby came to pick me up and walk me back to my dorm so that way I didn't like get kidnapped or freaking die. And then we went to go and hang out in one of our other friends' dorms, which was a couple that we are going to call Samuel and Bella, and a bunch of other people from our little group were there. And I end up like sort of cuddling with Penny, you know. Abby, of course, looked pissed the fuck off. She was just sitting at the opposite end of the bed staring at me, and what does drunk me do? Drunk me decides the best idea was the following fuckery. Like, listen, I'm not proud. This is not one of my finest moments, okay? It's really not. And I am still to this day extremely embarrassed about it, but I had been thinking about what to say to Abby all day regarding the way that she had been acting around me, since at this point I really didn't want to lose her as a friend if she did have feelings for me. But anyways, drunk me thought the best idea would be to just confront her right then and there. So from where I was laying beside Penny, I sort of propped myself up on my elbows and said, hey Abby, I love you a lot, but like platonically. I don't have romantic feelings for you. You don't have them for me, do you?
Emotional, damn it.
Yeah, that was my fucking solution to, you know, drunk me. Literally, I can relate to this girl because you know what, guys? Drunk me will literally have the conversation that I have planned out, that sober me planned out in my head, you know, like for the past 2 weeks, you know, like knew when I was gonna have it and everything, and then drunk me pops up and it's like, nope, we're having this conversation right now. We're gonna forget everything that we fucking thought that we were gonna talk about. It is what it is. Like, fuck. Yeah. The dumb bitch award goes to me.
You asked
Cut his fucking mic since he want to be fucking dumb.
Like, I had intended on having this conversation in more of a private setting, of course. But yeah, there's nothing I can do. I was drunk. It slipped out. It is what it is, you know? Can't take it back. And my thing is, too, is like, I had really thought that I made my feelings clear. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, this was supposed to be meant to come out as a joke. It really didn't, to be honest. It didn't come out as a joke at all. So that was kind of, you know, fuck. So she just looks at me and she goes, I don't know. And my only thought was, uh-oh, a bitch fucked up. I instantly felt extremely bad because she just sat there quiet for a little bit and then angrily stormed out of the room, which I don't blame her. I was a dick. So I texted her and I had apologized, you know, for the way that I handled things because, you know, like, I know that was not cool to do at all. And she said that she needed some space for a few days because she did not want to lose me as a friend. So she would be good after she processed my rejection, which I completely understood, you know? Well, the next day my college was holding an event, and since Abby said that she needed some space, I wasn't really sure if any of our other friends would want to hang out with me after that whole situation because they were her friends first. So I went to the event alone, and thankfully, even though none of my other friends wanted to go, this girl Luna decided she would tag along. I also met a few of my friends at the event. Anyway, so some annoying ass frat boys behind me were screaming, so I turned around and pretty much told them to shut the fuck up, and then they literally just said, "Have a drink, bitch," and threw a fucking bottle of liquor at me. Literally a bottle of fucking liquor. This obviously really upset me, so I went and I told the staff. So I went and I sat down on the bleachers, and then I get a Snapchat from Abby saying, "Hey, I feel fine now, so you should come sit over here with me." So at this point, I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, can you make up your fucking mind now? Like, can you make up your mind? Do you like me? Do you not? Like, do you need time to process your feelings? Do you not? It was just getting annoying, like the back and forth shit. I mean, obviously I didn't say this to her, but I was thinking it. So I went over there to hang out, and I pretty much just hung around Penny most of the time because Abby was still flirting with me.
Don't be shocked. You're shocked? You're shocked?
Which was very fucking annoying, as you all could probably understand. Like, even after I set that clear boundary, she didn't care. So after the event, we decided that we wanted to go to the bar, and Abby didn't want to go, so I went to our friend Molly's dorm to pregame with a bunch of our other friends. And when I got there, let me tell you, the tea was spilled. Like, I was actually very, very shocked because apparently everybody had beef with Abby. Like, everyone. Like, this chick Molly, she opened up and she was like, "I'm so sorry about what's been going on with Abby. Like, you know, that whole situation wasn't really your fault. You know, you were drunk." And, you know, even though people are saying that, I still take some responsibility because, like I said, it wasn't right for me to do that, put her on blast, you know, right there in front of our friends. But apparently my exact situation that I had going on with Abby also happened to Penny with Abby. Abby introduced Penny to her friends because she had a crush on Penny, but after Penny rejected her, they were actually just able to stay friends, you know? I don't know what the fuck magic Penny fucking did on her, but for me, nothing was working, of course. But yeah, like I said, they were able to remain friends. And when the situation before this happened, you know, whenever I brought it up to Abby, I was mostly venting to Penny because she had been through this with Abby before. Also, the type of person that Abby was, she was super mean and like would make backhanded compliments or just be straight up fucking mean in general. Like, she would make fun of some of our friends' weight and finding ways to call, you know, people ugly, you know, finding out things about them, you know, and just being a dick. Like, really petty high school drama type of shit. I know this sounds fucked up, but I was relieved to know that I wasn't the only one that was experiencing this with her. Also, I forgot to mention this, but Abby formed a romantic attachment to me very, very quickly, and the same thing happened to Penny. So after we complained about Abby, you know, we were super fucking tipsy. We walked to the bar and we met up with one of our other friends who we're gonna call Emily. So after we ordered some drinks and sat down, Penny brought up the whole situation with Abby. And Emily proceeded to tell me that Abby, before she invited me to sit with her and her friends, she kind of pretty much told everybody that her and I were in the talking stage. Yep, what the fuck? Like, that would have been nice to know, right? You know, like, this was not at all cleared with me. You know, the way that things are typically done. You meet somebody, you like them, but before you officially start talking, you have the "what are we" conversation to make sure that both parties are on board, right? Did Abby do this? No, of course she fucking didn't, because she's a psycho. Like, here I was thinking, oh yay, new friends. So yeah, this made me upset also because then it made me sit there and it was like, damn, like, did she ever really care about like how I would feel about this? Like, it's just whenever people assume that you're gonna do something and it just like, it's kind of annoying. At this point, I was extremely angry, but I wasn't going to text or call her because I was drunk, and we know how the last situation ended up. I did end up making out with Molly that night, which was kind of cool, you know. Anyway, so the next morning, Abby pretty much was radio silent. I didn't see her at lunch, but at dinner time, she did text me. You know, we all ate dinner together. That was pretty uneventful. And on the way back from dinner, I knew that her and I needed to talk, but in all honesty, I was way too fucking tired to deal with any of that bullshit right now. Like, I have been up late the past 2 nights in a row. I needed to study for finals and everything. And she had asked me if we could talk. And like I said, I was tired, so I said no. And then she said something that really pissed me off, okay? She said, you know, with the way that this group communicates, it might not be healthy for somebody who has issues with social cues. Meaning that she doesn't think that I should be friends or be in, you know, the friend group or whatever. Because side note, I am a very high functioning autistic. Something that she was well aware of and she was making a dig at. And there were also 3 other people in our friend group who had that same thing as me. So several things went through my mind, because what the fuck does that even mean? Like, why would you come for me out of all things about that? So I kind of just stared at her and I'm like, actually, I have no trouble at all reading the group. If anything, we have a pretty open line of communication. And my thing is clearly you're the one with the fucking troubles reading social cues. Like, babe, it's you. It's not me. You're the fucking problem. Anyway, so yeah, obviously it felt like she was trying to kick me out of the group, which I had no doubt that she was. Well, after I called her out for, you know, like fucking pretty much making fun of me for that, she gave some like weak ass excuse like, I'm sorry, I don't even know why I said that. So I texted Penny and she was pissed off. She texted me and she was like, to be honest, I think we all like you more than we like Abby at this point. I was very pissed off, but also kind of pleased with that answer, if that makes sense. But I told Penny that I was scared of Abby now, to be honest, because I really was. So she told me, don't worry about it, you know, like the rest of the group and I will handle Abby. You just need to kind of do your own thing, you know, like don't worry about her anymore. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure that the idea was to kick Abby out of the friend group. Suddenly though, as we are talking about this, I get a Snapchat from Abby confronting me about the shit that I talked about her last night, whatever. And like, okay, sure, I get it, confront me, but also who the fuck told her? Like, we were literally all talking shit about her and somehow she finds out.
Funny, yes, but not funny, haha. Funny, weird.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So then I said to her, you were the one who was making fun of me pretty much, you know, digging at the fact that, you know, my medical issues. And you also told everybody that we were in the talking stage when I didn't even really fucking know you. Which made her backtrack real quick. It was like once she realized that she lost the upper hand, obviously she went into straight, what's that called? Damage control mode? Yeah. I pretty much just said that what she said was very far from okay and that I wasn't going to talk to her anymore about it. She said she respected that, but she was actively still trying to defend herself, even though none of us believed a single word that came out of her mouth. Anyway, so I pretty much texted this girl Bella, whose dorm that we were at the one night whenever we were all talking shit about Abby, and I literally showed her everything. She obviously agreed that what Abby said was super fucked up. But anyways, so Penny ended up texting me saying that we were all going to move to a different table for breakfast and we weren't going to tell Abby where, of course. And in the end, Abby got kicked out of our friend group for being toxic as fuck. Like, I really think that she was already on her way out of being kicked. She was already about to be kicked out of the group, but what was happening with me was kind of the icing on the cake, because everybody had an issue with this chick. She was just literally straight up a bitch, like not a nice person like she pretended to be, and I'm way better without her toxic ass in my life. Okay, everyone, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, maybe hit the subscribe button down below. And if you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below in the description. But without further ado, I will see you guys next Saturday with a new story time.